And welcome to the In-Game Boss Podcast Award Show. And this is our final episode for the year. And as you know, we always do that with an award show right before the VGAs, which I do not watch because I am not a fan of that program and what they're trying to do. Mainly because
adverts.
No, it's just I don't like the way they set up. Like, I respect there is an award. I'm just not a fan of how they do the layouts of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's too many performance. Like, let's make this an award show. Let's make this more of an honor and really focus on that.
And a celebration.
Yeah, a celebration more of, like, who's the guests we're going to bring in next and all this kind of stuff. And these quick award things they like to do on the side, it feels like thanks for doing the shout out, but, you know, this might be important to that person, to you.
And those are the interesting awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. They just slide it like it's nothing. And that annoys me a lot.
And it's popularity. It's like,
it is.
What's the criteria that determines this? Who votes on this? Like, is it like the Academy where only former winners who are active can also vote on it? Or is it like just a couple of schmucks in a room are like, what's popular with the kids? Roblox.
I know one thing, though, is definitely sales is a factor when it comes to being nominated. Because the fact that Cyberpunk got nominated for RPG shows like that game got rough.
Yeah.
But it sold tremendously well. So, of course, so that's one reason why it got nominated to me. Because of that. And, of course, like, the other nominees made sense. It was like, we need to fill in this block. Which, I told myself, if someone would ask me, where would you place it? I would replace it with Bravely Default 2. At least that wasn't broken when it first came. So, just putting it out there if we had to replace Cyberpunk with something else. But it is what it is.
Replace it with Valheim. It's early access, and it was still felt complete.
Yeah, I think they put that under the ongoing category. I think the ongoing games. I think
I'm not certain. That makes sense if they did.
Okay,
but yeah, I'm telling you, Valheim also proves less is more. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah, and of course the most hated award for me, or the award I don't like, is the most anticipated award for next year because they just proved it last year that it's useless, as putting Elden Ring last year as the winner. And it's like, Elden Ring comes out in 2022 now. What's the point of this award? You're giving an award, you're giving someone an honor that you think is coming out that year. That sucks. Because Metroid surprise drop, if it was heard earlier, that should have been nominated. It's just a bad idea of a pick for me. Personally. As you know, we also always have our boy from the Sunday Anime Podcast. Sorry, it's been so long. You've been on that. Let me redo that again. I apologize for the listener. From the Sunday Anime Podcast, Curtis, the guy that always been a big supporter of the show, and we always have him a spot for here on the awards because it's very important to us.
I appreciate you both.
Yes. How you doing, Curtis?
Doing well.
You have a good year so far?
Yeah, a lot of interviews this year. Had a chat with Wendy Lee. I'm gonna do something with Kyle A. Bear later this year.
Okay.
Before the year.
And for the listeners or watchers, what are those two known for? Like what iconic?
Wendy Lee voices Faye Valentine, Yoriichi Shihoan from Bleach. Kyle A. Bear is adult Gohan in Z. He's also the narrator.
Really? That's cool.
He also voiced Sosuke Aizen from Bleach and Ganju Shiba.
Okay. Awesome.
That almost makes me wish I had gotten into Bleach. Bleach had me for about 12 episodes. I was like,
I would say with Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho, it is you have to get through the punches. I would say One Piece too. You got to get through the punches before it gets really good. Because I will say Bleach is it's about what? It takes about like 15, 12 episodes to get to to the other word I want to say.
21.
21? Okay. So, that's me being nice.
What, 10, 15?
That's me being nice. So, but if you get through it, then it's smooth sailing from there, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing Yu Yu Hakusho, it takes about like 6 or 7 episodes, then it's smooth sailing. One Piece takes about 200 episodes before it gets smooth sailing.
I mean, when it takes like almost 50 episodes just for the full crew to get assembled.
It's building character. You don't understand.
The funny thing about Bleach, I jumped in. I was bored one night watching Adult Swim. It was episode 41. So I jump into this awesome samurai fight. There's magical swords. It looks like, man, this is set in the feudal era. I'm going to go to YouTube and watch episode 1. What the hell are we doing in the not so
this?
far present?
Right?
This guy's high school student.
Yeah. It's funny when it comes to anime where you first watch it, because then like you go back and like, I should have just started here. It just kept going for 41. Just kept going. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah. 26 to 30 episodes tops for an anime series is ideal for me. I get it though. There are certain series I just want to keep going. I enjoyed My Hero Academia. I fell off midway through season 4, I think, or season 3 or season 4. You know, I really tried to get into Fairy Tail. You know, but I know there are guys that will fight you about Yu Yu Hakusho.
I like it.
It's like,
well, I believe, to me, if you can end a show under 200 episodes, that's a win for me. Because I think you can get your stuff across with that. Hunter x Hunter is my favorite Shonen Jump show of all time. And that ended with, I think, 165 episodes. And that just... I mean, there's still more, but I'd rather it ended and then you get another series. Kind of like Naruto and Shippuden.
Yeah.
Or Dragon Ball Z. Like, as long as you end this setting and then start another one, that's fine. One Piece never had that series. It's more like you're just on for the long run. Bleach never had that. Now, maybe when it decides to come back, it'll be called Bleach something else, maybe. I don't know. But
Bleach Return.
It just feels a little bit better when you have two different series, because it feels like you at least end one and then you're starting another one at least, you know? So kind of like Inuyasha, when they like changed it, went back and then they did Final Act.
Yep.
And yeah, and then now you got the new show, Yashahime, and all that kind of stuff. So
oh yeah, that sequel to Inuyasha. I forgot.
My wife loves that show.
Yeah. I will say, for people that watch Yashahime, it takes a while for the story to really start. I will be honest with you, because like I like the cast, especially the daughter of Inuyasha. I think she's the one that really helps carries the show a lot, because she's hilarious. But it takes a while because they're really trying to build up. And there's a lot of episodes that feel like they're filler more than like pushing the story. But if you're an Inuyasha fan, you'll still get entertained out of it.
I was about to say, that's the Inuyasha in general, though.
That's a lot of anime.
No. Filler is like maybe 1 or 2, max maybe 5. When it comes to like show like that. If you're a Bleach level show, you can have a whole saga of a filler.
36 episodes.
Yeah. Same to Naruto.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. You know, all those movies that came out that.
But that's a different category, right? And
filler.
Well, I was going to say on Dragon Ball Z was the Garlic Jr. saga.
Yeah.
Tree of Might.
So like Inuyasha to me never really had
that long of
never had an arc dedicated that is a filler.
True.
You know, most of your fillers, to me, in my opinion, is when Kagome goes back to her home. Those are your fillers. And the fillers are fun. That's the fun part about it. I like the fillers. But with Yashahime, they took away, to me, the whole back and forth. Because that's what I loved about it. I love the back and forth of her balancing school and trying to get the Shikon Jewel and everything.
Yes.
And in the Yashahime, they kind of took that away, because I wanted the opposite. I wanted to be where, okay, now this girl is doing this, and now the girls are going to go see her, and they're adapting to what they... I don't know. I like that back and forth, but when they took it away, it's just like, now it's just Edo Japan. And this is all it is. And it's like, oh, man. But, I mean, they made it to a second season. And so, but, Jaron, before we start our award ceremony, because we need to start it, Fire Force. That's my show. I love that show. I recommend everyone listen to that show. If you're a fan of Soul Eater, Fire Force is amazing.
The one show I thought was never going to get dubbed, and Netflix dubbed it, Kuroko no Basket.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
76 episodes, and they dubbed the movie too.
Oh.
And it's done.
Okay.
I give it, any anime I start now, I give it the Frieza Saga test. How much crap happens in 32 episodes? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. So if you're still having a one-on-one fight, I'm not watching you. If a lot of stuff happens, I'll watch you.
Yeah, no, I understand.
They go through.
My fiance Brandy's watching. It's not an anime, but she's watching a Chinese drama. Like, it's all in Mandarin. She's reading the subtitles, but it's like Ru Yi Love in the Palace or something like that. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
She's addicted.
My last thing on Kuroko, they go through 2 basketball tournaments, a flashback arc, and a movie. By that time you're done, Goku is still fighting Frieza.
Right? Right.
Yeah. It's that, especially the old American dubs of Dragon Ball where it's like 2 episodes of just charges, like, oh, what am I gonna do? Oh, what am I gotta charge up. It's like, okay.
But if we decide to talk more about anime, Curtis can always bring us on his Sunday anime podcast. But we are the In-Game Boss Program Network, gaming other variety shows. But this show is not only our goal is to challenge you, but also challenge us on fun topics. But this is a war ceremony. And the way we do this award ceremony is we're not doing like best video game of the year, best action game RPG. No. That makes us like everybody else. Our show is different. What we do is we give awards out to special moments that happen in the year of 2021, to the culture that has happened, to let people know, like, oh, that happened in 2021? I forgot about that, Because a lot of stuff happens over the year, especially early in the year. And as we come to the later half, where for some reason all the crazy that happens saved up to the later half of the year, we always forget what happens in the first year. Like, for instance, I mean, a lot of studios got acquired this year. From PlayStation had bought like 3 studios, to Harmonix, I think, the people that did the music games of Rock Band.
Rock Band.
Yeah, they just got bought up by Epic. You forget that now it's official that Bethesda is part of Xbox now. The family, the contract is done for that.
Xbox Studios.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that has happened over this year, but our goal is to kind of just bring it back. So the way we do this is we go in a rotation clockwise, and we give our special title of the award and who deserves that award. And we just having fun with it, and we'll sit and have a conversation about that award and everything like that. Curtis, as always the guest, we're always going to let you go first with your first award pick. So go ahead and send us that way.
So I'm reordering it to be chronological from earliest part of the year to now.
Okay.
My first award is Shut Up and Take My Damn Money. That goes to Kina, Bridge of the Spirits.
Okay. All right.
That was a game on my radar. Second I saw that trailer, got my hands on it. It is gorgeous.
So you have a PS5?
No, they made it for the PS4 as well.
Oh, I forgot the whole back and forth thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Because that came out in September, right?
Because I was really sad about it. Mm-hmm. Man, I don't have a PS5. How am I... What's this? Really? Okay.
So for the listeners and viewers, what's your initial thoughts about it? Is it really good? You love it?
It's really good.
Okay.
It's very good. I was very happy with it. Character design. It looks like a Pixar DreamWorks film.
Okay.
It's that high quality and fidelity.
Would you put a little bit of Studio Ghibli in there too?
Maybe a pinch. Definitely more Western.
Okay.
Computer animation.
Okay.
The gameplay, the combat is very fast-paced. Mm-hmm. It's very action-based, so it's not turn-based. So if that's your bread and butter, it flirts with a spectacle fighter sometimes. There's some puzzle-solving aspects. It's going to run about 19 hours. Mm-hmm. And what it really reminded me of was like the 3D Zelda games, like Ocarina, Majora's.
I heard that with the sprinkle Pikmin. Mm-hmm. Like the whole you have to control these little spirits, or I don't know what they're called in that game.
No, let's call them spirits.
Yeah, okay. That is like you're kind of like managing them, but also, taking care of business.
Definitely highly recommend it.
Okay. How much is that game running for?
When I got it, it was $59.99.
Okay.
Now I think it's down to $40.
What's funny about that game was it was announced, I think, 2 years ago, and it really went under the radar. Like, a lot of it didn't get talked about. And I think close to this, along with Deathloop, is hopefully it found an audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, it's one of those things that, it's out now. And it's like, whoa, what?
The marketing sounds like the marketing wasn't too strong. Like they didn't believe in it enough.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they did enough so we can see what else they have up their sleeve for their next title. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my first award I'm going to do is You Wish Award, and this goes out to gamers that were hoping for a Nintendo Switch Pro. People were just making this up and wanting this Switch Pro so much that they believe it was real. And the fact that Nintendo never said that it was going to come out. Gamers were just making this up. So much they used the Steam Deck to attack Nintendo of, this is a Switch Pro. I was like, well, they never said it was coming. Like, you guys made this up. Because you guys got hypnotized by PlayStation Pro. All this stuff of everybody developing a new version, you wanted Nintendo to do it, only because Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity did not run well on there. So you use that as like, we need a more powerful console. It's like, maybe it's just not very good development. Have you seen Koei Tecmo? When they do those Musha games, they don't always run the best, you know? But at the same time, why do they need to do a Switch Pro yet? It's selling like game busters. When you stop buying them, they will upgrade. The OLED apparently is still doing very well.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks very pretty too.
Yeah, especially with the Metroid game that came out. Yeah. Now, if you're a Switch owner, do I say go get it? No. If you are a new gamer, why get the other one? Get the OLED. You know? But
exactly.
for the Switch Pro, when it comes out, I think they want to make it a special moment with some game that will show the graphical difference. You know, because people are looking at the new Breath of the Wild 2 and they're like, man, we wish that looked a lot better. I was like, now you being too picky. You being too greedy. Because
you're being Nintendo fans.
Ouch. I'm a Nintendo fan. Ouch. Ouch. But you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong either. You ain't wrong. I mean, I think that's every fan base, right? PlayStation fan base always want more content. Nintendo fan want more graphical stuff. Xbox is like, we want you to be more exclusive to stuff. So, you know, but Switch, yeah, this award goes out to gamers that were just praying for a Switch Pro, and it's not going to happen because you kept putting that thought in your head, and they were hoping that for every announcement of the directs of announce a Switch Pro, it's going to be announced, and people making up these theories and rumors of this happening. So yeah, that goes out to all the gamers out there.
Yeah, no, that's just
don't make stuff up.
You're not going to manifest this off of your vision board. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I will say I second that award nomination because I almost to the point where I don't want a Switch Pro to come out just so these fans feel the burn, or I want it to come out so they'll shut up.
Yeah,
whichever. All right, so my first one is the They Still Play You award.
Keep going.
So this is going to go to Valheim because the thing dropped earlier this year, and for most people, they cleared through it in probably a month, maybe a little bit more. But the fact that they cleared through it doesn't mean that people stopped playing it. Like, I know people who were playing it months, like all the way up until the end of this summer, then took a break because the new expansion was coming out. And then when the expansion came out, started playing it some more. I'm Peoples. So I'm Peoples who started playing it some more. Brandon and I play it like every other night if we can.
I am so guilty because he bought this game for me a while back, and I have not jumped into his game yet. And I told him 2022 I'm going to finally jump in and do this because I feel bad when people buy me a game. I'm like, I'm not utilizing this like the way they want. I need to at least touch it one time. Just touch it. Just to say, I played it.
Well, that's the thing. When you play it, like especially if you play single player, you start to get into it. It's like, okay, I'm out here practically naked and afraid. I don't know what the hell to do. Oh my God, what is that? A boar? Is that a deer? And then you just grow from there.
Is it only on PC for now?
Yes, it's only on PC.
That's probably why it fell under the rug really quick because it wasn't multi-platform, and
yeah,
so
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it took a minute before games like Don't Starve became multi-platform.
That's true.
They eventually did.
And who knows they're not working on it right now doing that. So
yeah, I don't see Valheim going multi-platform until probably late next year at the earliest. But I mean, if it does, great. You can play it with a controller. It has the settings for a controller.
Now, was this a Kickstarter project? Or am I getting this wrong?
So.
Okay.
I don't think so. It was just by Iron Gate Studios, and they worked with I think Coffee Stain or something like that. And they said, hey, this is early access, like $20-$30, and this is what you can do. And I was like, sure, I'll play it. Oh, this is fun. And I was like, hey, Brandy, I bought you Valheim. Come play with me. And then we were playing on other people's servers. Then I built a server myself through Linux just to play this on a world constantly.
It does look really good, and it got really good scores. So
yeah, and it's not like graphically amazing. It's not like the character models and everything like that. It's just the art style. The art style is cohesive, and they put the bloom effects and the way the sun reflects off the water and things like that. They put that in there as the high graphic style. So with that accentuating the art style, it pulls you in.
Okay.
So, but yes, the They Still Play You award goes to Valheim.
Okay.
It's a shame it can only be nominated once because I'm sure it would get this award next year.
All right. Well, we'll find out. You're up.
My next award is Love at First Sight, and I gave that to Chris Tales.
Okay.
Funny story about Chris Tales. I only got introduced to it because I was coming for a podcast recording, and Jeremy's off goofing on his computer. I was like, man, what is that gorgeous looking thing you got there? Because you were playing the demo, wasn't it?
Yeah,
at the time.
Yeah.
And Jeremy told me about it, and then I just kind of kept it on my radar, and got real excited when it released right before for my vacation with my family to South Carolina.
Yeah, that was in July, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and what's weird is kind of like what we were talking about, games that speak to us. This one really spoke to me because a lot of reviews give it just average scores. There's nothing special. I don't know. I've never seen a game that took past, present, future, and had that aspect to it in the exploration. I've seen a lot of beautiful games. I pitch constantly that game company for pushing the envelope of art in games. But this looked like it reminded me of the pop-up storybooks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's what made me stood out. Especially has that kind of Paper Mario kind of feel too.
Other mechanic I don't think that is often used in video games is time travel. It's very difficult with time travel. It's hard enough to write a movie script involving it. I cannot even imagine with a game using that as a focal point of your mechanic of puzzle solving, side quests. There's a city you see this depressing future, like it is flooded. If you do certain events and side quests, you can actually change that city's fate.
Okay. And you're playing it on the Switch.
I'm playing this on the Switch.
Okay.
But the design just spoke to me. The puzzle-solving elements with the time travel was really neat. The imagination on the left side is the past. Present day, there's like a baby. And in the future, you walk to the left of the screen, so the baby's in the future, and she's like an adult woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also one of those games, like if you ever played Gris, Gris, it's one of those games where if you just stop, it looks like an art piece. Just looking at it. It just looks like you could just take a picture and that's an art piece. Yeah. I feel like that's what Chris Tales looks like if you just stand still and just have that whole background, especially like the church. I think at the very beginning before you discover the sword and everything, it just looks like an art piece that you could take a picture and just hang it on your wall.
The last thing I'll kind of throw shade at the gaming community is like, man, I want something different. I'm tired of this. Well, here's something different. Find me a screenshot that looks like this. Like I will wait.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to pick it up a little bit later on. But we even talked about it. Kind of has the same battle system of saying like kind of like Persona. And so, did you ever heard of this game? Did I show this game to you?
I was there when you were talking to us about it. Okay. I saw the trailer. And then when I saw like it was on sale, X number of months or weeks ago. It was on sale, and I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if I should pick that up." Nope, I have enough stuff. Nope. Yeah, but it's definitely something I've kept an eye out for.
Last question: what looks better to you, on the screen or on the Switch itself?
On the screen.
Okay. I was kind of curious how it is all condensed together.
It's beautiful on the Switch, but man, you get that full portrait look on your TV.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be nice if you could take screenshots and put it as your background on the Switch.
I know. How many updates do we have? We're not doing that. How much more stability do we need? We get it. Gosh. I mean, you're doing all the right. Oh, yeah, by the way, they won't stop hammering this, but Paper Mario comes out December 10th. Paper Mario 64, right? Just letting you know that.
We're drip feeding your Nintendo Switch Online games.
Right.
You used to get a couple of NES and SNES games. Now you get maybe a couple of crap fillers every 2 or 3 months. Now you get an N64 game every 3 months.
Mm-hmm. All right, so my next award is the Seizure Award, and this one goes out to Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Switch. And man, that game was looking crazy. Like if you, I'm not gonna show it on my screen, but you can go look it up. Like the glitches and stuff were so bad, colors were just going crazy. Yeah. You know the warning in front of the games that it give you seizures?
Warning?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the one that would done it for me. Dude, it gave me a headache doing that. I don't know. I know I won't get a seizure, but if I got a headache, that's going to destroy somebody that has seizure problems. Yeah. That game was just terrible on arrival. It was a terrible launch for that. Recently, Switch has been getting a lot of bad ports at the beginning of it. I don't know if it's fixed now, but if they had to do a reel of all the seizure glitches stuff in that game, that's messed up. And especially a Sonic game that goes hyper fast, right? So there's all those lights going on and everything's transforming and then everything just shifts and change. Oh man, it was terrible. Did you guys ever had a chance to even take a glimpse of that or saw a screenshot of it?
I saw
articles. A screenshot, but
read articles? Okay.
I didn't get to see the video of it.
Oh man,
crazy it was.
At your own risk. But man, that is crazy. And it's sad because it's Sonic, and it should not be Sonic. But every time there's a problem with a Sonic game, it's like, there's Sonic again. They're always doing something wrong with Sonic.
The only thing that broke that was Sonic Mania, and that's because the usual people weren't working on it.
Right. Yeah. You can tell they didn't Sonic Force that one. Anyways, on to you, Mr. Jaron.
All right, the next one is the Hey, baby, when did you get here award.
Okay.
And that goes to Metroid Dread.
Okay.
So I have never played a Metroid game to completion before.
Okay.
Like, not even the first Metroid, Super Metroid, any of that.
Okay.
Not even the Metroid Prime games.
Okay.
You
lose points, but cool.
I'm still fighting with the final boss because, holy crap, 3 phases of the final boss is hard.
In Dread.
Okay. Yeah, 3 phases. But the rest of that, it was a hell of a blast. Of course, everybody knows about the Metroidvania. You can't get somewhere until you get some item and you come back later. Yeah, this shows why this is the best at it. Because you almost forget that area was there until hours later. You're like, oh, I have this freeze suit. Let me go back here. Let me go like 3 sections back real quick and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So the action and the gameplay loops, like when you're encountering or seeing enemies, it's fair, it's challenging. Like it even says on the loading screen for bosses, no attack is unavoidable. Just pay attention. And you're like, huh, they're right. You die a few times and you're like, okay, I got how to beat this boss. Up here, then jump this, then slide under here.
Old school.
Okay. Yeah, you feel like a badass. Like it's old school, but it's fair old school.
Okay.
Like you can stumble your way through it the first time, but more than likely you're going to have to take some lumps. The Emmys, the robots that chase you, that they make part of their marketing. Yeah, that gets a little nerve-wracking towards the end. You're like, oh crap, how am I going to dodge this, dodge that? How am I going to outsmart it? So I will say that is one of the best platformers I have played in a long, long time.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I can't wait to get my hands on it because Metroid is always known to have very hard, difficult bosses. So I'm excited to see how this compares to, the previous one like Super Metroid and Metroid Zero and all that, because they mainly were mother brains in the 2D format. So it'll be interesting to see how this one is going to be a little bit different. Now, I don't know if this is another mother brain thing. No spoilers for me, but I can't wait to find out. And so, okay.
I will say this Metroid does make me want to go back and actually try Super Metroid. So good thing it's on the Nintendo Switch Online. I can maybe give it a shot.
Okay, awesome.
So over to you, Curtis.
My third award is great game and all, but now I have depression. And this goes to Life is Strange True Colors. This is their
okay.
second outing by Deck 9 after they had picked up the torch from Don't Nod. This is, I don't know, the Life is Strange series just keeps getting better and better. First game's really memorable, solid. This one dialed it up to an 11 for me.
Okay.
Like, this was the first time I really felt my decisions would change the narrative.
Okay.
In the previous games, certain characters would just react to you differently, and that was kind of the big scope of it. This one, it seems really altering the decisions.
So it's almost like it was day and night compared to those two. Okay.
What I've always liked about Life is Strange is it's not in sequential order. They're all standalones. This one's no different. It's story driven as always. Now the new ability is, I jokingly called her a walking mood ring.
Mood ring. Okay. Okay.
Different emotions give off different colors. She can pick up on these, but they also leave echoes on an item.
Okay.
Like if you rage quit a game, your controller's gonna be red, angry. If you pick it up and just, man, they were okay. I gotcha.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty unique idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it adds to the story. You can, and what's, depending on the emotion, how strong it is, she can feel that. Like it would change Alex's mood too.
Okay.
But that was also on my radar. I was kind of, and you know what's funny is when I saw this preview, I was kind of having Life is Strange fatigue. I was like, oh my gosh, how long are you gonna keep dragging this out? Thankfully, I have not gotten the Assassin's Creed, just disenfranchised by it. This one just really reinvigorated my love for it.
Good.
And the first game that Deck 9 did was Before the Storm, which is a prequel to the first game.
Yeah. So would you compare? How do you compare to the cast? Do you think this cast is way better than the previous cast?
Yes.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I love Max and Chloe, but man, they just kept it up. And the funny thing with Before the Storm, I did not know that Don't Nod had left. The transition between Before the Storm and Life is Strange 2 was so seamless.
Okay.
Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, I liked the first one. I haven't got a chance to play the second one because first of all, I don't know how many episodes this one's going to be. But just like they're up there with Quantum Dream to me. They're really good of just doing good narrative and like really doing well with it. They're almost like they're the ones that are replacing the Telltale's games. Because Telltale's had this big streak, and as soon as they kind of fell off, it seems like this group just took the reins, and now they're doing something unique with it, and not using off of other people's like franchise.
These are they're all original IPs. Like what you were saying with Telltale was they were borrowing IPs and running with that.
Yeah.
Borderlands, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Batman.
I think when you're repackaging something that's existing, I'm speaking out of turn, but that passion might not be there.
Yeah.
With these stories, that felt like you had a writer. I want to tell this story. I'm telling this story, goddammit, so get on board. And you can just feel dialogue, writing, voice acting. Everyone was on board. And every entry felt like that. Yeah,
and it also kind of raised the question, too, of is this the style of always going to be a female protagonist? Because this is the second one, I believe? Or is this the third one?
Because there was
third female protagonist.
Yeah.
Tell Me Why.
Yeah. What's the one with the couple? The one that was very exclusive to Xbox. Wasn't that another... Not Life is Strange, but I think it's the same people that did it, I think. Because I thought that she was, I thought they were like...
brother and sister?
Yeah, brother and sister, yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Tell No Lie? Tell Me Why?
Is
it Tell Me Why?
Tell Me Why.
Life is Strange, Tell Me Why.
Yeah, is it Life is Strange?
It's not Life is Strange,
no,
but it was the original developers.
Okay. So it seems like still...
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So it still seems like they really like using the females as the protagonists for this. And I'm kind of curious to see if that's a pattern, whatever the next one they do, to see, okay, I see what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Because they also like using, except Tell Me Why, it seems like they like using more of a younger kid.
every single one fit really well because I was real hesitant with the first ones. Man, how can I relate to this middle school, this high school girl? It's like, damn, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, don't nod. Like, and last year I gave Don't Nod like the you cannot do anything wrong at this point award.
Okay.
Like, you do no wrong.
Right on. Yeah, I'll definitely have to give that one a try. My next award is Naka Into Nightmare Award. And this award goes out to a man that came out with a game. Everybody was hyped for it. He had his own studio created for this project. Didn't work out. Resigned this close from retiring. And that is Yuji Naka. But the winner is Balan Wonderworld. And this is a game that got talked about the year before the release. Square Enix dedicated a company built from the bottom up, Balan Company, to make this game. The demo came out for it. It was a total disaster. The sales went down the drain when it came out in April. He resigned in June. And then it was so quick. It was 3 months of this game release, and he was gone. And it makes you feel so sad because he is a legend. If you don't know who Yuji Naka is, I mean, he's the guy that's the one that was a big programmer of your Sonic games, Nights into Dreams, your Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. He was the one that did the oddball kind of games that you like, oh, yeah, that's him. From Burning Ranger to a lot of stuff. He was that dreamer for Sega.
Visionary.
Yeah, he was that. And the fact that after he left for when Sonic 06 was being created, he dodged a bullet there. He created his own studio, and then he went further on. And then this is his second game he ever directed.
Whoa.
Second game he ever directed. Everything is programmed. And the fact that he was on his own directing this after leaving Sega showed that it was too big for him. It was too big for this project for him. I know he was trying to build this game for kids to play, but he was too kiddish. Almost every button is one move for this character over 100 costumes. And that's not fun. And that's not fun either. I don't know if you ever played the demo of it. Did you ever chance to play the demo? Good for you. Did you ever play the demo of it?
I turned that shit off.
So you did play it. Dude, it's so bad. It's okay, I'm done. Yeah.
I'll put it this way. They tried to do too much into one game, and they didn't do any of it well. And I wouldn't even have my girlfriend's 2-year-old niece play that game.
Yeah. Dude, it's really bad. And it sucks too because nothing's worse than hearing from a guy that helped create so much great stuff only for this one game to really throw it almost down the drain for him. It's almost like Kina Inafune. He was known for all this stuff, but then when he went out to do Mighty Number 9, that reputation went down quick.
All that good faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to show that no one person is bigger than a property. Yuji Naka was a great mind behind it, but he had other great minds, bolstering, buffering, keeping him in check. And even the studio that Balan Wonderworld or Wonderland, whatever the hell, Wonderworld.
It's Wonder. I know, but that's funny. Everybody thought it was called Wonderland because it comes off the tongue easy. Balan Wonderland. Yeah. Balan Wonderland sounds weird. So yeah,
all the developers who did it were in over their heads. They were way in over their the decision to give it to them.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to learn more about it, they did a What Happened video on YouTube about it. Which, Curtis, that is a great series. If you ever had a chance on YouTube, it's called What Happened. They just talk about a bunch of games and their history. It is a phenomenal show. It's a phenomenal show. Shout out to Muscle. Or is it Mac
Muscles?
Yeah. Shout out to him. He's an awesome guy. But I think what's crazy about it is it was under Square Enix, right? And that was the part that really hurt because Square Enix was starting to go outside of the realm of trying new things. I mean, they bought Crystal Dynamics and Eidos for their own thing. And to see this studio, because that's one thing Square Enix was lacking, I think in their library was platformer games. So here is a guy that can bring you platforming. This was a good buy, but it just didn't work out in his favor. And the fact that it almost feels like a samurai resign where he fell. So he just just took himself out. It's almost like this, you know? It's like Balan, dude, that's bad. I'm resigning. I am so sorry I wasted your time and your money. I'm out. And
save what little honor you have and just
bow out.
No worry about chopping off fingers. No, you just need to go ahead and commit seppuku.
Yeah. So he didn't retire. Right now, he said he's relearning game programming again, and he's working on a game for smartphones. That's the last thing we heard about him. So I wish him the best of luck. I hope that he gets back on his feet and, go from there. I hope, but we need someone to be a successor to Yugi Naka's games. Like, someone needs to take his spot and keep his vision going, because he was very imaginative with all his games. So, okay.
Yeah.
You're up.
That's so sad.
And one of your favorite games by him is Nights in the Dreams.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I will say the next award, and I'm kind of going between the two, but I know you were going to kind of step away from it, but I'm going to just headbutt it.
It was in the year. We might as well go ahead and get it out of the way.
Yeah. The Giant Oof Award goes to Activision Blizzard. Now there was a bit of a scandal. I couldn't decide between the Giant Oof Award or the Giant Fumbles Award. So
I also take Blizzard Storm.
Yeah. Anybody who knows who reads any type of internet, Twitter, whatever,
especially if you're a gamer. Especially if you're a gamer.
Yes, they know about the absolute fecal fiesta that's going on with Activision Blizzard. They've had multiple employee walkouts. They've had employees that were promoted to certain positions resign, saying, "Nah, y'all aren't even trying to change the culture." They've had the CEO. People are calling for his job, for him to resign, and he's acknowledging and saying, "Well, if I can't turn things around, maybe I'll think about it." They're calling for him to resign. California was going after them, and California is like, "You know what? No, we are going to go after you. We're going to hit you in the wallet." They unified Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in one voice to say, "Hey, that's not cool. That's not cool." They just can't stop stumbling over themselves. And I don't even know if it's stumbling over themselves so much as they can't stop the workers from speaking up and saying, "And this happened, and this happened, and this happened." And
they can't plug the leak. They can't plug the leak. That's the problem. They can't.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I don't think the leak should be plugged. This needs to be a reckoning. This is a reckoning, and it needs to happen. I look at this from the bigger picture of this could be what helps other places like change the corporate culture.
Yeah.
It needs to change. I haven't touched an Activision Blizzard game. Doesn't mean I don't think anybody else should. I would love to play Diablo 2 remastered or whatever it's called.
Resurrection, I believe.
Yeah, Resurrected. I'd love to play that game. It looks like fun. But I personally I don't want to give them any more of my money. These guys haven't been really killing it for me anyway. It's like I stopped playing Overwatch. World of Warcraft is hemorrhaging users. Their Call of Duty games are like, meh, it's whatever. Yeah, so Activision Blizzard gets the Giant Oof Award because every time I see their name in the news, I'm like, oof.
To add on to that, it can even get to the point like Cyberpunk where if PlayStation and Microsoft want to, they can even stop them from putting the game on their consoles in their market to really show the foot down for that if they want to. I'm not saying they could. I mean, they should.
Xbox did mention they're reevaluating their relationship.
Yeah.
Now, what that means, don't know, but I agree with you. I would love to see them just yank their games off.
Mm-hmm. And that will really make some changes because they have nowhere else to put other than PC, and that's not their bread and butter market. Their market is mainly the console. But the bad part about it is that, like you said before, this is on top of other decisions that they made in the past that have just been a disaster. Like the worst one, all of them, is studios that don't do well get folded into other companies in there. It's almost like if you don't work out, you are getting folded into the Call of Duty developers. You know,
if your game doesn't sell at least 2 million,
well, at least that's at least that's
jobs.
that's at least what we see as a gamer seeing that, because Skylanders was the big hit, then it fell, they get folded up, they get thrown there, which one of the lawsuits has to do with one of the women that didn't get evenly paid with as a male, and she was the head of that studio that made Skylanders and all this stuff. Toys for Bob, Crash Bandicoot 4 didn't do very well, got crushed, folded into that, and that's really annoying with the whole Bungie fiasco too. You know, this here was so this whole thing was just, they just never work well, and the fact that they combined together just did not work really well either, because at least out of those two, Activision's still doing well than what Blizzard cells are doing, compare when it comes to not the MMORPGs but just their regular game. Like Diablo's not doing very well, I don't think, for Resurrection on cell wise, in my opinion.
No, it's not
so much that the other two games got delayed to 2023. That is Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2.
Yeah. And, you know, there's going to be all the speculation about what else may have contributed to it. But the point is, this is one of those companies that makes me think that a game company is a lot better before it goes public, because it becomes publicly traded and starts having shareholders and starts having all these other agendas putting their fingers into things that don't need to be there. You know, I mean, think about the past. BioWare was great until EA snapped them up. You know,
and I would like to do an episode of the Here and Now episode where studios get bought and see what happened after that, and talk about like what's our speculations of that. That'd be interesting to talk about. But yeah, they definitely big oof. Like the bad part is, like, for a while EA was the one getting the hits, right? Like EA, and that was just games, the DLC, microtransaction, all this. But now this EA is like, they're okay. They're not great. They're like okay. You're not the worst studio right now anymore.
They're hated, but they're hated for business decisions. They're not hated for company culture and the individual in there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know the EA CEO's name. I know the Activision CEO's name.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially where Vanguard is now the lowest sell for Call of Duty, which is like, to me, it's like, well, it's about time, but at the same time, it's like, that's kind of crazy because, you know, it's Call of Duty. So, yeah.
People are finally voting with their wallets. You know, I mean, everything's been a nice, well, not nice, but a perfect storm of, you know what? My dollar's tight. I'm not going to spend it on this. I'm going to spend it on this. I'm going to spend it on that. Or I'm going to take the $60 and get like 6 indie games or 3 indie games or whatever like that instead of this Call of Duty. It's whatever. Call of Duty will be on sale in 6 months anyway.
It's going to be interesting for them in 2022 because we'll have to see what their next lineup of games are going to, if it's really going to make a difference or not. If they have anything for 2020 other than another Call of Duty game.
It's also not helping them that Halo Infinite multiplayer is free and it is killing.
Yeah.
So,
all right, it is time for your final award.
My final award is the impactful contributions to video games. Okay. And I am awarding that to the late Koichi Sugiyama.
Okay.
He passed away at 90 years old this past November. He is most famous for composing the music for Dragon Quest.
Okay.
From 1986 to 2020. That is 33 years. 11 mainline games, 16 spin-off titles, not to mention the Dragon Quest Dai anime from 1991 to 92 that aired, and Dragon Quest. He even came back to do Dragon Quest Your Story recompositions for the CGI movie. Over 500 songs he composed between those 33 years. And he has such a big impact too. He's up there. He is such a father of video game music in Japan. And I'm quoting, "I am still surprised by the sudden news of his death. Sugiyama Sensei was my teacher. I feel sorry from the bottom of my heart. Rest in peace," quoting Nobu Uematsu, the composer for Final Fantasy games.
That is crazy for 30 years. That's dedication. You would think that he, on a composer like that, would try not only burn out, but also try different other titles to see different ideas, but he was just dedicated to this.
And I like what you put too. You had mentioned yours. No single man is greater than the sums of his parts.
That's
and
just worse, but yes, thank you for giving it to me.
But Dragon Quest was a beautiful triad of Yuji Ori, sorry, the creator of Dragon Quest, Akira Toriyama, who did all the character designs, and then Sugiyama-san, who did all the music. And he had this beautiful triad of these wonderful minds that made something that's lasting now. And the stubbornness to stick with the musical style, because he wrote Baroque style, he wrote Romantic style, classical style, and he held true to his guns to keep that fantasy setting. And because Dragon Quest never did the steampunk route like Final Fantasy did.
Yeah.
It's always stayed back in the fantasy realm. And that music stayed with that theme. And with the darker turn from Dragon Quest 12 going darker, I'm curious if they're going to stay that direction as well. Because this will be the first outing that they did that they're going to do without this guy. That has been such an integral part. Some of his most notable tracks, too. This was the first Dragon Quest game I ever played. I usually don't cry during video games. Notably 7, Journey made me cry. Life is Strange made me cry. But this would probably be the second time, because it predates Journey and Life is Strange. There's a town in Dragon Quest VIII. The queen has died, and she's been dead for years. And the king is in eternal mourning. Everyone dresses in black, the whole town, and the most depressing song. You enter this town because Dragon Quest VIII had such happy music, happy, cheerful, upbeat music, and you go to the most depressing violin strings. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, did I just walk in on a wake or something? And that would match the tone, too. And the song is called Remembrances from Dragon Quest VIII. Obviously, the Dragon Quest fanfare, to get such a complex song, da 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 da, on the 8-bit synth, using, and he used a creative tone called the horned fifths to create a big choir jazzy sound to it, and the man had 30. If you listen to that theme. Redone for every mainline entry. You can hear little parts, little jingles that he adds in over this time. And it's like, what's so beautiful about it, and I didn't catch this until I actually listened to all of them in sequential order, it's this man of his craft just mastering it. Just keeps going back to this simple, simplistic thing, making it more complicated, adding in a piccolo trill, and all these different flavors of sound as the technology got better throughout the years. And if you listen to Dragon Quest XI's fanfare, which was performed by the Tokyo Symphony, it's the first time that they didn't do the MIDI sound, is just gorgeous.
What's interesting, too, is you are an awesome composer when you make a memorable song that when people hear it, like, that's Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
That's Final Fantasy. That's Mario. That's Zelda.
The hitting on Smash Brothers, the Dragon Quest reveal. There was a YouTuber that I wanted to show you the impact of, like, how much this meant to Japan, having this character go. The fanfare blares, and like all these Japanese Twitch streamers were losing their shit the second they heard dun 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 dun, and they're like screaming, yelling, like one jumped up, going whoa!
Yeah, no, it's so crazy. I'll tell you my favorite song. And it's so simple, too, because it sounds like an old 1920 commercial when they're trying to sell you a product, and it's the menu of every Dragon Quest game. Like, you're like, bum, 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 bum. Yeah. It sounds like someone's trying to sell you an item. Like,
so the memorability, you and I just know that song.
Yeah. It sounds like a commercial. Like, he's like gets you down. Well, come get some of this. But wait, there's more. And that's what it always sounds like. It gives me that mindset. That it might sound like something you hear in an elevator, but still, yeah. They really good. I honestly say I like that menu better than Final Fantasy. Like in the menu thing, hands down.
And the battle music, too.
Yeah.
Just started out slow, and it built up the drama. It gets faster and faster, and it hits a climax. Then it recycles because it's a video game track.
Yeah.
But the build-up and the intensity of it, too. I mean, the guy was just a flat-out genius.
Okay, so my last one, then after your last one, then I have a couple of special awards to talk about. Mm-hmm. So, my last award is called We're Finally Ready to Strike Award. And this goes to Microsoft Xbox. Since the Xbox came out, the news console, we still didn't know what they were going to do. PlayStation's been ahead of the game. Switch has been out for a while, but we're like, what is Xbox going to do? We don't know what exclusive they're going to have. Like, they were trying to fill in the blocks. But ever since E3, they have showed us what their lineup has been happening. And even though some of those I'm not entirely too excited for, it was still a hell of a lineup of what they're doing. 2 of them came out as bangers. That's Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5. Mm-hmm. You know, shout out to Jaron. He said that is one of the best racing games I ever played in my life. But just the fact that Xbox look like they are ready to really throw out their guns again. Like, this feels like the 360 era for Xbox. Like, they're ready to throw out. Because while PlayStation, sadly enough, they're in a situation where they're having problems with their consoles getting out the doors, on top of the back and forth between the confusion of, is this game exclusive to PS5 or not? All this stuff is jumping along as Xbox is really trying to stay steady with the Game Pass exceeding that too. And the fact that now they have bought Bethesda, we're getting these exclusives that they've got and they need. That is now Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. You know, those are their 2 biggest bangers coming out, and that's awesome for them. I'm really happy for them, especially with, I know Deathloop and Tokyo Ghostwire. Mm-hmm. Eventually, those are going to come over there too. So, I think Microsoft are really ready to really strike hard for 2022. I think they're going to come strong. Are they going to sell as much as PlayStation 5? I don't want to rule it out, but so far it's a slow start. But the fact that they're selling quicker than their last console is a good assumption. And if they keep coming up with the right moves and the right decisions, they'll be okay. Even so much now, PlayStation just announced that they're now talking about their Game Pass coming out. I think it's called Codename Spartacus or something like that right now. And
goodness.
And so that even got them shook. People might say they're not shook. I think they're shook because,
or at least caught on their back heel.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Yeah, they're like, this PlayStation Now is not cutting it.
Yeah, because I think Xbox is here for the long run. They're trying to slow and steady, and they might win the war of going slow and steady. Unlike PlayStation, they're trying to just hit you hard, and they're trying to go too big for their own bridges, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Even though they said we want to focus on blockbuster stuff. So this, to me, gives Xbox a chance to really hit the little people, the indies, and all this stuff to get that back up and show them that they care. And the fact that they're doing a relationship with Nintendo, like, there's something up their sleeve. And with this right now, they're doing a great job. So much that the S is sold the best for Black Friday, I heard. Yeah.
It's amazing when you actually have product available to buy.
Yeah. And so I am very excited. And from our last episode celebrating the 20th anniversary, I told you and the viewers that I was a hater for Xbox. Straight up, I was a hater for them. But when I got into the 360, I appreciate what they were trying to do. And I don't know if you ever listened to the episode or not, but I was talking about that I treated Xbox the way I was treating like PlayStation when they first came.
Yeah.
Here's someone a new guy coming in, and it's like, you ain't ready for the big leagues yet, But when you got all the exclusive all the developers over there, it's like, well, crap, they're coming into play. And that's the same thing with Sega. When Sega left, that hurt my heart. And then here's this new thing coming in. Like, you're replacing the third slot for Sega? No. You ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, just like 3DO. Yeah.
Everybody rolled their eyes at Bill Gates. They're like, psh, we don't even like Windows 95. What are you trying to do, bring an Xbox?
Yeah. And the name is dumb, at the time. Actually, I still don't think it's the best name, but it fooled me. But... and Phil Spencer is he is a great guy leading this trope. He is a good head person. He's a good image for them. I mean, he's up there with Reggie to me. Like, He's making a name for himself, and people go to him. He is that product. You can't think of Xbox without Phil Spencer. That kind of way. Not like Jim Ryan right now. And so, but maybe you guys agree or disagree. But I think Xbox deserves this award for really hitting it hard this year, really coming in strong for this fall, and really pushing the right buttons with the Game Pass and everything. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yep, Jaron?
No, it's a proper award. It's appropriately given. Like I said, Xbox may not have the big attention-getting games now, but they are positioned. They are positioned properly. They spent their time well preparing, and the fact that they're able to get their product into people's hands a lot easier than Sony's PlayStation. That's also going to make the big difference.
And to top it all off, just the recent news of more backwards compatible games that have been buffed up.
Wow.
Their last batch, yeah.
Their last batch. But still, the fact that they're still dedicated to the people that don't have it yet and still keeping that backwards compatibility to it. Like Sony doesn't really believe in that anymore in their way. We're not seeing old school PS3 games or PS2 games anymore. Microsoft is now really trying to hold into that. And maybe they have to, because that might be a plus along with Game Pass of that way, and PlayStation maybe not have to. We talked about this before, and our last big challenge question about Wacom, Nintendo, and all that doesn't do backwards compatibility. Because we talk about when you're on top, you don't have to really do that much. But when you're the lower part, you're trying to do a lot to get your names shot out. And PlayStation did that with PlayStation 2, where you could play backwards compatibility to PS1 games, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo couldn't do that, so that's why PlayStation made it on the mark. So Microsoft is doing a good job. They're definitely better than their Xbox One era, hands down.
They have clearer messaging.
Yes.
It's funny, the Xbox One era, everything that people were laughing at them for, it's come to pass. The digital future, the all digital, the Game Pass, all of that. It's come to pass. It's happening. Microsoft's just delivering a better message. Makes you wonder, what if they had actually delivered a clearer message 7 years ago?
Back then.
Right. Well, we can only think about that. So bring us home, Jaron. What's the last award for you?
All right, final award is tangentially related. It's the Don't Bother Looking award. And it goes to PS5 and its consoles. From the fact that news broke in the last couple of days that there is U.S. legislation being explored, at least in New York, if not federally, to address all these scalpers, what they call Grinch bots that are stealing Christmas. These scalpers,
nice.
These sellers, these bots. They're not going to be able to do anything about it. But it's nice that they're actually addressing it and they're acknowledging it, that it is a problem. Probably some senator's kid somewhere got pissed and is now on their radar. But you still can't find PS5s anywhere unless you are part of some special club. You have bots working for you. You have $300 or $400 over that you're willing to spend. And they're still online only. They're not stores. Stores can't get enough stock to warrant carrying them in the store.
You can only see the display. That's all you get.
The display.
That's all you get.
Empty boxes.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned before, the Xbox Series S, it was available. It's like I could have gone online and I can refresh and see it's still available in stock. I can buy it. It's $300 or $250 to $300. It's digital only, but you know what? $300 and then a Game Pass membership. There you go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And I remember I originally said I'm not going to worry about a PS5 until probably late 2021, 2022, or mid 2022. I said that beginning of this year, late last year. I'm revising that. Don't bother trying to find a PS5 until mid 2022 to early 2023 at the earliest, because they just can't get this stuff out there, or they're not trying hard enough, and stores aren't incentivized to make it harder for scalpers and resellers to do it. It's why they're selling it. Doesn't matter. What do they care? So
yeah,
I'm a little bit salty, but at the same time, I don't know if Jerome's still enjoying his PS5, but there's not enough stuff on the PS5 to make it worth getting.
I haven't really asked him that because through the situation he is dealing right now, I think that's the least of his worries right now. But I agree. I think that the scalping has this a little too overboard, especially for this generation. It wasn't that bad for the PS4.
It even freaking hit Pokemon cards and Magic cards. There's like a sign limit. There's a limit per product to sell.
Yeah, and I think it's ridiculous, but I think it's more ridiculous seeing people paying the price of how bad you want something, and you shouldn't put yourself in a situation.
Yeah,
it's like I look people dumb in the face. Like, is it really worth $1,000? Is it really worth $1,000 to you?
Is that being that you're basically asking them, is my child's smile Christmas morning worth $1,000? Like, yes, it is. I guess. Some people will do whatever they can to get that thing that their kid wants, and I can understand that. I'm still going to call them foolish, impatient, impertinent, impetuous, imbeciles, but I understand.
Mm-hmm. And just like a kid, sometimes you don't always get what you want for Christmas. You just be happy you got something, But then again, the consoles that we grew up didn't cost that much. So that's a different story.
I mean, given inflation, but yeah, it still didn't go. I remember when we balk at a $600 console, i.e. the 3DO, but now people are like, $500. I guess I could swing $500. I mean, hell, what did I do when the PS4 came out? I bought it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then also too, the old consoles we had, you didn't order them online. It was first come, first serve at a store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a different story. That's what it should have been for this one. Like, no online sale. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be a dumpster fire too. Everybody would get mad about that.
I mean, stuff in the store. Imagine stuff in the store late 2020. Yeah, they weren't having that, because of a certain global health crisis.
Yeah, so PlayStation saying that quote, we're the fastest selling console. Like, yeah, you hold on to that feeling. Yeah, you hold on to that feeling.
I mean, it's whatever. But that's my award. Don't bother looking. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, whoever gets a PS5 out of three of us, just send an alert and let us know that so we can congratulate you. Why should we have to congratulate you?
I'm already keeping an eye out for those extra graphics cards for you.
I know, right? Meanwhile, Switch is killing it both ways. This is like more for us. Cool. Okay, so that's the end of our individual awards, but we got a couple of honor awards. One great honor award and one bad honor award. So let's go ahead and get the bad one out of the way, and then we can get to the good one. The bad one is this is the honor of, this should have been easy honor award. And this goes to GTA Trilogy that came out in November. This should have been easy. It should have been easy. 3 games remastered, put on all the consoles. I understand if the Switch didn't get the best, but it was all across the board. Everybody wasn't looking right. They upscaled everything. It wasn't in-house Rockstar that did it. It was a different one doing it. It was just a disaster moment there, and it felt like rushed at the same time. And it's sad to see that, because it's bad when you hear that they don't run well on Switch. I'm like, it's a PS2 game. How come it's not running well on the Switch? That doesn't make sense to me. So, it's just, it was back. I was going to say this or Battlefield, but the problem is Grand Theft Auto should have been easy. Easy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Battlefield's running. Battlefield runs.
Yeah. But especially it's a trilogy, and the fact that they did a little bit too much for that game, especially in the HD front, where now you're seeing what this game is when it's full 3D, seeing the whole city that looks very boring because you don't have the fog or something to kind of
weather.
Yeah, or disguise it, making look it bigger. I mean, it's almost like if you look at the Mario Kart 64 game, the volcanic level, they got rid of the fog. Now it just looks really boring. Or they took out the water in the Ocarina of Time, so it looks like just a ground. So because of that, it felt like they upscaled it, but they didn't want to do any extra work on it. And to people, it feels like a cash grab. And it could have been a cash grab, but you still didn't see the thought that put in it. It was just half-assed. Signs were messed up, so the jokes are not funny. People's voices were slowed down. Glitches out the wazoo. Someone said every time they bump a car, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. There were just so many problems with this game, and I wanted to try these remaster games, even though I was against it at first. I was like, I'll give it a try if they do well with it, but now I don't even know if they do fix it if I really want to jump into this.
They are putting out a patch that fixes like over 200 bugs.
Of course,
that's supposed to come out, but once again, this is not a game worth $60. Like, it could have skated by on $30.
It deserves to be a $30, not $60.
Yeah. But add to that the fact that they pulled the original trilogy packages from the digital storefronts. Mm-hmm. So if you want that, you got to go. You better have already owned it, or you better go get the PS3 or Xbox 360 or whatever versions of it. They put it back on the PC, but not on the consoles. So.
No, and it's at the Rockstar store too. And
only through the Rockstar store.
And the fact they took away the classic ones on the PlayStation Store, and all you got is those editions.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bad burn.
You're stuck. You're stuck with these pathetic editions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It almost would have been better if they were really good. They should have just brought them out separately. They would have probably made more money anyways doing that. The trilogy, they didn't have to do that because people bought them individually. That's just me. Yeah. So, but Curtis, were you ever in the Grand Theft Auto at all?
Not really.
No, not really.
I jumped on the Rockstar train with Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. Whew, I hope they don't do that to Red Dead Redemption 1. Ooh, I hope they don't do that to that one. But that's a PS3 game, so hopefully it's not the worst upgrade, whatever they do. But the next award is an honor award because this ends a legacy, a big achievement. I think out of all the video games in our lifetime, this is the biggest achievement, and no game will ever reach this peak ever again. Nobody. No one would touch it because everybody worked together, except Sony. Shame on Sony. Sony could have been part of this moment. You could have been part of this, and it would have been magical for everybody. It would have been a great union. But this is called the Smash Hit Honor Award, and this goes out to Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers from the beginning was something that it felt like it was a joke that developers were doing. Like, what are we winning a fight? Then you put it out, people loved it, then they advance on it, and then they took the chance of, could we get outsiders to be part of this? When Brawl came out, and it just shocked the world that Snake's in this, Solid Snake's in this. Then you bring Sonic, then you bring Mega Man, then you bring Simon, then you bring you bring Cloud, you bring Dragon Quest, you brought in
Ryu, you bring Terry Bogard.
You broke the internet by announcing Sora. I mean, holy
Minecraft, crap. Steve.
Yeah.
Especially the Sora one that's been in talk for people wanted that so long, and they thought that voter thing didn't mean anything, and then they're like, they've been working on it, and it's cool because you believe that they were dedicated to do this. It's going to take a while, but we will make it happen in some shape or form. And the fact it was so much fun, people guessing who were going to make it. Sorry for the Waluigi fans, but that's you too. But
Banjo-Kazooie,
Banjo-Kazooie, it's crazy. And that's when you saw Microsoft playing nice. You want the Cuphead skins too? Yeah, take that. Yeah. It's almost like they want to be honored in that. And Nintendo really pulled it off. Now, does it have the best coding for online? No. That's not important in this conversation. It was more of just getting the rights and who they had to network to make that happen for the games that people grew up knowing Nintendo for. And it's amazing what they have done. Even getting the music in there. Yeah. Some of it being remixed for even sounds a lot cooler. The stages. Hell, they even have set up where you can go in sleep mode and listen to the soundtracks. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that they're dedicated to making this game more of a museum, a gallery, a history
exhibit. Yeah,
a history book of all these games and stuff. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I didn't think he was going to get that far. I honestly thought, maybe they'll get one or two here, but Ultimate really pulled out with the seasons.
Yeah.
Pulling out all these characters, and it was so much fun figuring it out, from the people being upset that, another Fire Emblem character, to
I'm sorry, another sword user.
another sword, yeah, right, to sometimes out of the wall, and characters that deserve to be on there. Like, look, I'm not a Minecraft person, but yeah, Steve belongs on there. Minecraft made a mark in the gaming. You know, they deserve a spot in here, regardless if I disagree or not. Now, rather that yeah, same thing, right? Now, you know, my Earthworm Jim didn't make the cut, but that's okay.
My hot take on where you're going is the roster, no matter who it is, somehow probably brought people into video games.
Yeah.
At a certain point in their life, growing up, like my kids got into Roblox or with Minecraft, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that character. And for some people, it was Little Mac. Some people, for me, Cloud Strife got me really heavy into video games, like really serious.
Sephiroth right behind him.
And it's just Ryu from Street Fighter. Like, you had such a variety of entry-level gateway characters.
Yeah.
And they're there.
Yeah. And then on top of that, no other studio could do this, because Nintendo will never loan their characters out.
Yeah.
It was either Nintendo. Everybody had to come to Nintendo for it. So Nintendo managed to pull that off. Now, we have talked about this before, but it is sad that, you know, number one, your characters that you personally probably wanted didn't make the cut. I get that. But I think the most disappointing was, it was sad that Sony never wanted to contribute one of their characters on there, because I think it would have been amazing. Right. Instead, they went ahead and did their own game that didn't work out really well, the Battle All-Star, whatever, you know, but it would have been amazing to see, you know, Ratchet and Clank make the cut, or Drake, or something that really fits. I mean, hell, Crash. I know Crash is Activision, but Crash was really associated with Sony for a long time. But Crash didn't make the cut. You know, Sony could have been part of that moment, and I wish they did. I wish they kind of just stopped for a moment. Like, we can give you one. I'm not asking for 12. I mean, everybody else gave 2 each. That's fine. But the one from Sony would have just made the icing on the cake. Just like, that's nice. You gave us one of your characters on there. And I don't know if they regret it now for it or whatever. But the thing about it is, you don't know where it's going to go next. Like, this is Ultimate, right? Like, what's the next thing for them? It's going to be hard to top this game. Yeah. You know, or what other characters are going to come in. Also, too, for everybody that want a Goku in this game, sorry, video game characters only. Yeah. Okay? But I'm excited to see what they're going to do next with the Switch Pro. But it's going to be a long time, because Ultimate is a longevity game. It doesn't need another successor anytime soon. Just like Mario Kart 8 so far. Like, do we need a 9 yet? People will stop by 8.
Last thing on the Dragon Quest character, their skins ranged from almost all the mainline entries. Yeah. So you got your representation of your jump-in point.
Yeah, and the same thing with Cloud. You got, like, the old edition to the new edition outfit. So they really put a care for each character. And all their moves were very, like, shot out to their... And just
Bayonetta.
Yeah, just the ideas of how they got those characters to fight in their own way. That is like a shout out to all of those characters in their own special way. And it's a big, huge achievement for them. I'm very happy that this game exists, period. Yes. And everybody got the chance to kind of just enjoy this game for what that is. Jaron, any thoughts you want to put in there?
No, you got it all.
Okay. All right. So... well, sadly enough, we got to wrap up our awards ceremony. But as you know, we are part of the In-Game Boss Program, network of gaming and other variety shows. And this is our last show for the year. We will definitely be back in January. And I want everybody to have a great holiday. We'll have the next season is going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of getting to the roots of a lot of issues I have in the gaming world that I want to do for this next season, and just kind of bring it out in the opening, put my 2 cents in
just
there.
A real talk.
Yeah, some more real talk stuff. And of course, we were going to do our goofy talks and everything like that. But it's been a fun year. I just love video games. I love the world that it is and what they're trying to do with it. And it's just been a fun ride on this bumpy road. And this is why the award show is really fun, because we kind of just have fun and poke fun of it, but also talk about just the craziest stuff that happened.
Celebrate the good and the bad.
Yeah. And some of it, the real ugly, like Blizzard. But yeah. Yeah. But if you are enjoying this stream and you're enjoying this content, please visit us on YouTube, where all the rest of our shows are, and all our great content, from our movie podcast to our less gaming stuff. And make sure you go visit Curtis's show. And where can they find all your stuff?
Right now, some of it's on YouTube, but the majority of it is on Spreaker.com.
Okay. And where can they find you on Twitter?
At SCICT85.
Okay. And if you want to find me personally, you can find me as RetroAmp07.
And you can find me at the Grumpy Bear 84. Careful, there's a lot of Tekken posting on there.
Nice. And for you guys, always remember to leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think of the show, what you don't like. What other games did we forget that should have got an award for something? Let us know as we prepare for the next 2022, which is going to be even more interesting as we search for a PS5. But with that, thank you so much, and we will catch you on our next episode next year.